G'day, you good motherfuckers. Many people wish to imagine a world without war, famine, or disease. I, however, imagine a perfect world being one that bans something that all religions, creeds, genders, and people across the globe universally hate. And that is filthy cyclists.
I can't believe it.
In particular, the banning of cyclists from our roads. I'm not talking about those guys or girls that you see out riding in the bush doing mad fucking jumps. I'm not even talking about the people that lost their license and now rode from A to B, or kids riding to school, or if you're doing it for fitness. I'm talking particularly about the ones who spend their entire lives on the road pretending they're cars, when in reality, and this may blow your mind if you're one of these people, you're not. You are the scum of the earth. You're grown men or grown women who get up at the crack of dawn and slide into their lycra suits and then get, for the rest of the day as a hobby, they get in people's way. That's all you do. Suck all the hairy balls and all the hairy flaps, you grubs. But if you watch this channel for some time, you know how I feel about cyclists. Fuck cyclists. Go and get the t-shirt, Butterfield.shop. There's only about 45 left. Not bad. I recently learned something absolutely disgusting and dehumanizing about these cockroaches that live on our roads. I have learnt that all cyclists, not just the professional ones in races who are making a lot of money, all cyclists, the ones you see every day, shit themselves on the roads, in their pants, constantly. And this dirty little secret comes straight from ilovebicycling.com. What a website. Today, elite athletes will just poop their pants and continue on. Fuck you to the moon. Not only do you find it necessary to ride very slowly in front of people while they're trying to get from A to B, you now find it extremely necessary to strewn partially digested corn throughout the breakdown lane, you absolute animals. Keep in mind what's happening when cyclists are forced to poop their pants. Professionals compete to the point that their body is beyond stressed. It feels like it's dying. I don't care. Pull over and have a shit, you fucking freak. And this idea that it's just professionals doing it, it's a lie. It's a myth. It is every cyclist that you see. The first thing they do is smash some pre-workout at home or a couple of coffees and shit themselves and head off down the road. The shorts can help. Some bike shorts have padding that can essentially double as an adult diaper if needed. Wow, you already have thought about this so much that your shorts you wear for your sport have an available section for you to drop a big shit in. This is not always foolproof. No, obviously, and usually results in ruined shorts, but it can help just enough to make pooping in your pants not quite so horrible. Goodbye shorts will be able to absorb the liquids, usually sweat, but sometimes poo, and a good fit will hopefully keep everything from moving around and causing even more discomfort. Maybe this is just a move from big cycling, trying to get everyone to shit their pants so they can sell more lycra shorts. I don't know, but what I do know is it's disgusting. Stop it. And you may be thinking, sitting there at home, maybe in your own shit, hey, we just shit our pants and ride along. We're not hurting anybody. Yeah, really? You really believe that? Let me tell you the truth. Cyclist defecates and throws poop at car following collision. A new video shows cyclist defecating in the street and throwing his feces at a woman who locked in a car following a collision in Canada. Wow, we are all in danger. I'm worried for our lives. So the only way to stop this is to head down to the link below and check my petition to remove cyclists from Australian roads, if it hasn't been deleted already by change.org, because it probably has. Remove cyclists from Australian roads. Let's see how many signatures we can get. But ladies and gentlemen, in more joyous news, capital letters are racist. That's where we're at. Large letters, racist. This is according to a Canadian, and fuck me Canada, can you just stop? You're calling for capital letters to be banned, but your Prime Minister's wore blackface twice. A Canadian academic with far too much time on her hands, Dr. Linda Meniguns, PhD. I didn't really want to say this, but with a last name like Meniguns, she sounds like she should be a depressed teenager walking through the school halls of an American high school. Anyway, capital letters are bad. Write that down. It's actually great news for people like me who don't know how to spell, who fucking suck at spelling, but it also brings a whole new meaning to the term grammar Nazi. Calgary professor won't use capital letters unless it's to acknowledge Indigenous people. Fair enough. A Calgary professor says she won't use capital letters in her name or anything she writes unless it pertains to Indigenous peoples. This just reeks like a social justice complaint, an issue that people will care about for 7 days and then never talk about again. Linda Manyguns, Associate Vice President of Indigenisation and Decolonisation at Mount Royal University. Indigenisation and decolonisation. What an interesting field to teach. Here in Australia, as far as indigenisation of our entire culture, I think it's not necessarily, it sounds like a weird thing because you're like, what? What are we doing? But I think we should be very proud of our Indigenous culture. Probably 100,000 years of culture, heritage and history. But also, this may sound weird, but it's true, I'm glad the British colonised Australia because otherwise I wouldn't exist. So I sort of have to be happy with it. They did horrible things. The Brits, absolute I think Australia should probably act a little bit more like New Zealand in this case, where they really respect their Maori heritage. But anyway, that's a video for another time. This is about capital letters destroying the fabric of humanity. They made the decision to support the movement of equality following the ongoing discoveries of unmarked graves at residential schools in Canada. Okay, that's very sad, obviously. But also, will capital letters really help? She's refusing to use capital letters because she says it shows complicity with a system of oppression. No, it doesn't, Linda Manyguns. It shows you know how to use a language. She called on the people to reject symbols of hierarchies such as churches and the government. Aren't you a PhD? A doctor? Is that not a hierarchical structure? She also wants them to be more critical of them because these institutions have been responsible for these atrocities. These institutions may have been responsible then. Are they now? Are they still committing genocide? If they are, then that's a problem. But if they haven't done it for a very long time and the people involved had nothing to do with the atrocities of the past, can you really blame them? Particularly when it's a blanket group like the government. I'm joining the lowercase movement in order to create a resistance to their oppression, identity, and bring attention to the fact that these entities are the oppressors of Aboriginal people. All right, so you're going to change the lives of Indigenous people by not using capital letters. Best of luck. Last week, she announced a decision on the university's website. She said Indigenous people have been actively engaged in multi-dimensional struggle for equality since time immemorial. Obviously, Indigenous people across the globe have been treated like shit. But don't you think at some point we need to, as a country, as a global society, move past that and stop relaying everything back to where your grandparents and ancestors are from? We need to acknowledge the past and make sure it never fucking happens again because it's disgusting and horrible, but we also need to move past that at some point. But don't you also think what Manyguns is doing here is laughable to the point where anything she says, even if it's really good, you just think she's silly now because of this ridiculousness that she's pushing? So she's doing herself a disservice, there's no doubt. Banning capital letters will do fuck all. But I tell you what will work. Banning cyclists. If anything's gonna bring the people, the Indigenous, the non-Indigenous, the black, the white, the brown, the Asian people, the non-gender conforming, the they, thems, the she, the hers, the they, the he, the whatevers. I tell you what'll bring us together. Banning the dirty cyclists from our roads, shitting from lane to lane, riding 4, 5 abreast, getting in our way and ruining our lives. They probably are responsible for coronavirus. Hashtag fuck cyclists. Capital letters are okay. Be a good motherfucker. Peace in the Middle East. Bye bye.